Welcome back to Blue Zone Homestead. Today I am flavoring our yogurt, making a homemade breakfast using our goat's yogurt what I've just made yesterday. I'm using chocolate chip, pumpkin seed. We're going to use the organic porridge oats. We're going to put some cinnamon in it and some of that green gage jam what we've just made. So this is gonna be my first job, and my second job I am going to make like a venison stroganoff with some vegetables. So if you're interested, you are welcome to my kitchen. Let's get cooking. So I really enjoy making a homemade yogurt in an instant pot and leave it overnight in a fridge, and the next morning usually then I flavor it, make it as a breakfast meal. So I really enjoy putting in the oat, you can put whatever you want, you can flavor it. I really enjoy using up our homemade jams as an extra flavor and sweetness. Bit of a chocolate chip, white, milk, dark, whatever you fancy. And really enjoy using nuts, whatever nuts will go in it. I use sometimes sunflower hearts, pumpkin seed, walnut, honestly whatever you need. And I do sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on ours, and it's just absolutely lovely. We really enjoy it. I make this now every week. I'm just filling it up with the yogurt now. So I usually vary how I put things in jars. Sometimes I start with a jam, sometimes with nuts, sometimes the oatmeal or the cereal, and then top it off with this lovely yogurt. And this roughly kind of the amount I'm working with, about 1.5 to 2 liter yogurt I make a week, and we go through in it, and honestly we absolutely love it. I remember 7 years ago, I used to go to the supermarkets and I've bought milk and everything else we needed for the following week, so that week's cooking and baking projects. And I absolutely loved it. I remember when my husband told me, like, how can I enjoy food shopping that much? But I don't know, I can't explain it. I was so organized. I knew exactly what I'm gonna cook and bake for that week or following week. So I went to the shop with a long list and I knew exactly what to buy, and come home, I enjoyed putting them away and just, thinking about all the lovely meals I'm gonna make and we're going to have on that week. But 7 years ago, my life changed when we moved to this property where we are now. And just to buy in that first, I kind of got emotional just thinking about it through that journey. What was not easy but was amazing at the same time. Just having the first chickens and having the first eggs from the chickens and already thinking what else we can have. So I'm still going the first couple of years back to the supermarket. But when I had the vegetable garden as well, it was just that I was so eager to just produce more for ourselves and for my family. And honestly, I think the whole reason I started this channel, because I really would like to show you and encourage you to maybe, just try something of this life, because this life is incredible. And I know I was growing up a similar way, a very similar way, with my Hungarian family. Parents, grandparents, we've always had animals, we had the farm, we always had the garden, we always grew our vegetables. But as a young child, my mum said I wasn't super keen, because I was more into my studies, college and university. But when I came over here to England and met my husband, and then we created this life in here, But especially when we moved to this property where we are now, that's when I knew that something is missing from my life. And I just love it. I just love this lifestyle. It came back from my childhood, what I really, really enjoy. And I just cannot look back now, friends. So I've started making the venison stroganoff now. I'm starting with the vegetables first, the leftover cabbages from our cabbage roll making project. I'm gonna use the up as well, and I've got some red onions and the runner beans. And the runner beans in here, because we've already tried and had that venison stroganoff, and it was delicious. The only thing, friends, this runner beans was stringy. So I really need to remember this, and I really need to pick the runner beans when they are younger, or when to get to this stage. I don't need to feel the need to harvest it just because it's there. I would rather now, from this experience, leave it to dry and then just harvest the pods, the beans inside the pods. But everything else was fantastic. So these are our homegrown cauliflowers, beetroot, and just keep going back to. So when did I do that switch? I do ask Carl a lot. When did I stop going to the shops, the grocery stores? I really can't remember. Must have been about 5 years ago. Just making boiled egg in the meantime. Because I think it was gradual. So we've stopped. I remember I started going to the farm shop, and then they had this vending machine for milk. So that was my transition from the supermarket milk to the farm shop before we had the goats. But our first animal were definitely chickens, and then we had the eggs, and that was amazing. And then we had the vegetable garden, and then we had the goats. So as soon the goats arrived, that was a new journey. I was so excited. I remember it was 2020 when we had the goats. Since then, I've not bought milk, and oh wow, how much I've learned. Just what you can make with milk, I am cutting venison now. I've just got ready I've got some bacon first, and now I'm on a venison. Yeah, so I'm making butter, sour cream, ice cream, all sorts of cheese now, soft, hard, aged cheese. I'm making ice cream, honestly, and I know it's still got lots more to learn, but it's just absolutely incredible. So I've not put any lard in that frying pan. I've just put the bacon, and whatever fat came out of that bacon, I'm just frying these onions in, and it just worked well. So I just give it a good stir, put the lid back on, leave it to it until that onion saute nice, and just keep cutting up the venison. I'm nearly there. I'm doing this quite smallish bite-size little chunks. It was really nice. So yeah, and then I've decided that I would like some bees, so I became a beekeeper. That was an absolute fantastic journey. From distance, my dad helped me as he's a beekeeper, but I went, for course, and I had some help in here as well, so it was incredible. Since then we've harvested honey and made all sorts of cream, lip balm, candle, and I cannot wait to show you all this, honestly. So yeah, and suddenly I've just stopped going to the supermarket, really. Right, I've diced the venison, and I'm going to put some of the parsley salt, what we've made. I'm gonna put a tablespoon of parsley salt. Worcestershire sauce, about a tablespoon. Cayenne chili pepper. 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna put some tablespoons of mustard, some horseradish, tablespoons of horseradish, tablespoons of sweet paprika powder, quarter of a teaspoon of dill, and some barbecue seasoning, a teaspoon of those. And now we're gonna give it a good mix. I'm also adding a cup of mushroom. And beetroot, what we've chopped earlier, some cauliflower and the runner beans. Okay, we are ready to put the meat and vegetables in. Same issue as always, friends, too full. So we're going to wait until this cooks down and we're going to fill it up with the rest. I think I'm going to put just a little bit of avocado oil, just a teaspoon, and cover it back up. We'll check it on it in 10 minutes. The egg mixture is now, the egg is now boiling, so another 5 minutes and the boiled egg is done as well. Bread is ready, and I still need to deshell these French dwarf beans at some point. I'm going to make the horseradish sauce next. So in this jar I've got about 3 tablespoons of grated horseradish. To this we're going to add about 1/4 cup of sour cream. I am using our homemade sour cream that I made from our goat's milk. A good mix. And to that we are going to add a teaspoon of mustard and about a tablespoon of mayonnaise. I'm using our homemade mayonnaise and shop bought mustard. It's nearly done. Just the mayonnaise to add now, pinch of salt, just a pinch of salt, and a lovely homemade mayonnaise. I'm gonna have a taste test. Smelling and looking delicious. We're going to serve this with our beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff, you know, we can serve it with pasta, rice, sourdough bread, even potato. It's easy. Right, let's try. Delicious. Okay, I am happy with this. I'm gonna leave this in the fridge and then we're going to serve this with our dinner. I'm going to put the leftover whey from the other day's cheese making process. Oops. Try to add the rest now. Next job, I'm going to get the cream sauce ready for the stroganoff. So I've got in here about half a cup of yogurt and a cup of milk. And to that we're going to add the 1/8 of a cup of bread flour and give it a good whisk. We're only going to put this in right in the end. Pinch of salt. And some white pepper. And a good mix. Put this aside. I've got about 400 ml of lukewarm water in this glass bowl and I'm going to add, I'm gonna start with 2 cups, let's start with 3 cups. 3 cups of bread flour and we're going to give this a good mix. I am making sourdough bread, I forgot to mention. I fed the starter this morning and at the moment it's looking good. You can see the bubbles around the jar and it is rising. Smells delicious. So I'm just switching to my fingers now and we're going to make a dough. And this is the easiest sourdough bread you can make. No need. I'm just going to cooperate everything together and that's it. So far we've got 3 cups of bread flour and I'm gonna add 1 more. So this is gonna be the 4th cup of bread flour. And then I'm going to add a sourdough starter. Oh, look how nice this is looking, friends. Gorgeous. Look at this. Wow. Let's add a bit more. So, good 3 tablespoons of sourdough starter. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt in a minute. But for now, we're just going to mix everything together. And then I'm just going to put some teaspoon of oil in the bottom of this dish and cover it with shower cap and leave it to it. Come back every hour or so, do a stretch and fold. And we'll see before bed if it's looking nice and risen enough, then I'll put it to the fridge. If not, sometimes I just leave it overnight rising on a kitchen table. Doesn't really need working on it too hard. We're just doing now. I'm just adding a teaspoon of salt. Just make sure that flour really cooperates with the rest of the ingredients. And when our bowl and hand comes clean, we're good. It only takes a few minutes. Let me know in the comment section if you are making your own sourdough bread, or do you have a sourdough starter? Do you making anything else with it? Or if not, if that's something what you would love to do. We're nearly there. You see the bowl is now coming nice and clean. And this sourdough starter now goes back to the fridge until you need it again. Usually take it out in the morning, feed it, and then we bake with it a couple of hours later. Perfect. We just need some oil. I've got vegetable oil. Literally just a teaspoon on the bottom of the pan. Glass bowl. And we're just going to coat the whole dough all around. And that's it. Cover it with show cup. And job's done. Our venison stroganoff now has been cooking for a couple of hours on slow, simmering. And I think this is good. What is this? Yeah, the meat is done. Very nice. I am ready to add the sauce. Oh, looking good. This is going to be delicious. So now I'm just going to wait until this comes back to a boil and our venison stroganoff is done. Thank you so much for spending time with me today in my kitchen, and see you very soon. Bye friends!